Hello, welcome back to Sprouted Dreams. Tonight I thought I would go over some of the plans I have for the channel here and just sort of give a chat while I finish the hand painting on this sign. There are also some owls hooting outside as well as people driving by on ATVs. So kind of odd sounds tonight. So if you hear something in the background, it's probably one of those two things. So I must say that 2023 and 24 both were kind of weird. They were strange years. I am not a big fan, kind of do not recommend. 2024 was not bad, but just not really what I wanted for sure business-wise. And I know that for many of you, the economy has been a bit rough, and it certainly showed in my shop, and that was really difficult to sort of tackle. And I am happy to say that that has shifted for sure. I thought maybe once the elections were over it would change, but it didn't, and I'm like, oh no, what's going to happen? But actually Black Friday, for which I usually do a sale, I send out emails, I do all these different sort of campaigns, and I change the banner in my shop, and I didn't do any of that this year because I'm like, well, I'll just enjoy the holidays with my family. So I kind of planned more for the food and sort of parties that we would have. And actually ended up having a really good Q4. So that was great. Totally unexpected at this point. So what I want to do this year, rather than just staying silent if things change within my business, I want to bring you in with me on that journey because it's part of my life, and I would like to kind of make YouTube more of a fairy gardener's journey. Like, if we want to escape into our fairy gardens and put up beautiful signs and fairies and make places for the birds, that's all something to do with our everyday life. And I have that in my life too, and I want to share that with you. So I will say that 2025 is going to have a lot more of me involved. I was planning actually on sort of fixing myself up and showing my face on this video, and sometimes I have done that in the past, but I did not get myself situated enough for that. But I will do that in the future, so plan to see more of me. But also, I work for my husband, and that's a full-time, as well as my fairy garden business is kind of like I have two full-time jobs, really. And I know many of you have that sort of heavy workload as well, which is why we need a bit of escape, right? But I also try to be a mom to my children. They're adult children now, but they're still my kids. You look like you're two. There we are. Well, egads, that really zoomed you out. Anyway, try to include that, but I do lots of homemade cooking and composting, and I can't get this lid off. Hold on, let's see. I have no hand strength left. It's really terrible. I just don't have any way to... There, I can do it that way. So I want to include some of that with you. I've kind of shown on my shorts some of the composting I do and the tea that I gather from the flowers and weeds. So anyway, I work for my husband, and I do the Sprouted Dreams, and I'm a mom. And that's just all going to be included now on this channel. So if you don't want to see that sort of stuff when you see me perhaps making up tea or making a new pickle recipe. I really love to pickle things. Or maybe like last weekend, after Christmas, I made a gallon and a half of bone broth which came out really nice. And that's really important as we garden and put up our miniatures. We don't want to ruin our health for sure. And I think it's important to bring our health into all aspects of our life. And there are ways that you can make small changes that are really pretty simple, like the bone broth. Like if you look at some of the, what do you call it? I used to buy the Knorr, like bouillon. Oh, it's not even food. So if you make bone broth, it actually has the nutrients and the sort of extracts from the bones, and it was really easy to make. I mean, you just kind of let this stuff cook for a couple days and add some salt and pepper and strain it, and then I put it in a pressure canner, and that's pretty much it. So things like that. I will just post more of my life, and if that sort of part of my life is something that isn't interesting to you, no problem, don't watch. But I just figured that as gardeners, we need to care for the land and care for our homes and our family and sort of incorporate all of that into our lives. And of course, I want to share that with you. So that is what I'm planning on doing. And I do have two sort of places. So like right now, you'll notice this background with the sort of artificial lighting and stuff is when I am working with my husband. And if I am at our ranch, then you will see it's definitely more remote. And we do not have electricity there. We run on solar. And for internet, we did just, yay, that made a big difference for 2025. We got Starlink. And honestly, I have been extremely happy with the Starlink. I sort of thought it may not make it through our weather because we do have wind. Like we have had extreme wind this year. And I didn't think it would make it through, but did just fine. So that was really good news. But I will be able to post more. There's no cell phone where we live, and so I would have to go to this one particular place on our mountain and go up there, and I kind of marked it by this rock and this fence post, and I put a bunch of things there so I could kind of keep track of where I was. And sometimes I would get cell there, like not all the time, especially if the sun was very bright. No way, no cell. But when the cell fairy came, then I could post or get texts and things like that. And no, we did not have a landline either. We had a landline for a long time, but whenever the rain would come, the water would interfere with the line, or we have free-range cattle, and if the cows would chew on it, forget it. That didn't work either. So I just figured there was no reason to pay money every month for something that didn't work. But I will say the Starlink is a game changer, and that should allow me to post more frequently and more accurately, I hope. So that's kind of what we're looking for the next year. I really, really wanted to go to Comic-Con. We had so much fun at Anime Expo. If you saw my elf outfit for that, I had way too much fun doing that. And I wanted to go to Comic-Con this year, and I had no comprehension. I missed the ticket purchasing by a month, and then looking at the process for buying tickets for that event, oh my goodness, it's quite an ordeal, isn't it? So I guess I will have to plan for that for next year and try, or you just pay the sharks that are going to charge you $800 or whatever for those tickets, but that seems terrible too, so I'm not really sure about that. Maybe we'll try Comic-Con Los Angeles instead. I'm sure that that's not going to be quite the same, of course, but we'll see. Looks like that flower needs some more depth. So that's about it. I hope that 2024 was a good year for you, but let's all just have an awesome 2025. I'm really excited about it. And I want to show you too, in a upcoming video, I get ideas obviously all the time of fairy garden items to make. And I've been writing them in a journal, but I am, because of my work, for my husband, I am in the car like all the time, out in the work truck. And I drive a lot because our two places in the city and in the country are very far apart. So I spend a lot of time in the truck. And what I want to do is get more organized. And I did it. I really feel like I've kind of hit on a new way to organize myself and get my ideas written down, my goals written down, and all kinds of things like that. And I'm so excited because I'm actually, if you haven't done it before, I have found myself confused. Like, well, I don't know what to do. What should I do? Or what was that I wanted to try? Or this, and I have things written in the journal, but there, even though I segmented it and I made a custom journal by hand for myself, oh dear, I messed up that color. I still didn't find it accessible enough. There we are. And so I tried a couple of different apps. Yikes, the color on that thing. Abigail, what'd you do? Yucko. I wonder if I can take that off. Okay. So what I did, actually, I have had, and I will say my favorite phone to use is still a Google Pixel. I really love that phone. But my son encouraged me to try a Samsung. And no shade on the Samsung. It's a good phone. I have nothing really bad to say about it, except that it never knows my face or my fingerprint. My hands are always dry, or I have glue or paint or dirt or all of the above. And so it never knows my fingerprint or my face, because my face, I might have sunglasses or goggles or reading glasses, or anyway, the Google Pixel still always knows who I am, and the Samsung does not. But at any rate, Samsung Notes are excellent. I really like their Notes app, and after trying, oh my goodness, like I said, the handmade journal, Trello, the Google Suite, and Notion, I ended up using just the Notes on the Samsung, and I find it to be quite good. And I love using ChatGPT, but unfortunately, that does not sync. Like if you have ChatGPT on your phone and you have ChatGPT on your laptop, they don't sync. And that is a bummer. I really don't like that, but hopefully that will change with time. What else? What else is going on? I did get back on Amazon. Even though it's not that I'm thrilled with Amazon, I'm on their handmade portion, and I hope to do well there. I will sell my strictly one-of-a-kind things on Etsy, and I'm going to do replicable products like this one. And obviously this is not really replicable, is it? Because I'm hand painting, so each one is slightly different, but it's close enough that I can make several of these. But I'm going to put the items that I have many of on Amazon. Everything will be on Etsy as it is now. And then I'm going to, later this year, probably maybe around summer or the second quarter, I'm going to also open a Go Imagine shop. And if you haven't heard of Go Imagine, I encourage you to try it because it is very strictly handmade, and I find that to be a real encouragement to artists and crafters and sewers and painters so that they can have a place where they can sell their items without competing with drop shippers and stuff like that. And they really vet the process of selling on that platform, and I think it's going to be a good place. But their fee system is a little bit different, and so I have to kind of acclimate myself to that platform. But I will be there soon. And let's see, what else? I wrote a few things down. Oh, also, don't worry, I will still be doing all of the miniature processes and care for your fairy garden items and how to make some beautiful fairy gardens for yourself, for your children, or your family. I hope that you did some fun things for your holiday season. It's really nice to incorporate some of the fairy lights or even the little tiny Christmas lights. They're great to put into your fairy gardens. So if you still have some of those out, don't worry, you can incorporate those into your little gardens as well. All right, I think this sign is done, and that kind of shows everything that I wanted to talk to you about today. And I hope that you will come back again real soon. Like I said, I'll be putting more community posts and shorts and more long-form video as the week goes by. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you that has hit that subscribe button. Thank you so very much. It means the world to me. Until next time, happy fairy gardening.